Welcome to day 2 of the Capitalizing on Coastal Blue Carbon Conference that we are holding to share results of the Bringing Wetlands to Market project that has been led by the Wacoit Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve and our partners who are involved in this project, as well as sharing some related research from other studies and looking at their implications for wetlands conservation and restoration in the New England region and beyond. I know that there are some new individuals here. We did give a nice welcome and opening remarks yesterday by our acting manager, Jim Rasman, but I know that I see some new faces, a couple people who weren't here yesterday, so I'm going to give you kind of the whirlwind overview of the project just so that you are not completely lost about where we are. And then what I will do after that is give you a quick rundown of how we'll run the agenda today and then step through some of the expectations for what we're trying to get out of. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the National Estuarine Research Reserve System, the reserve is one of 28 research reserves that are scattered around the country where you see those dots on the map. And we work to study estuarine ecosystems and look at impacts on them, and we act as living laboratories for research on these areas, understanding them better, and then sharing our results with the public and with decision makers. And we're also, in Massachusetts, our reserve is also not just a part of the research reserve system, but we're also a part of the Massachusetts State Park system. So we are part of the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation. And so that's all I'll say about just a quick intro of where we sit and who our kind of main federal and state partners are. But we kind of divide our work in 4 key areas: research, education, training, and engagement and stewardship. And all 4 of these components have some influence and some participation in this Bringing Wetlands to Market project that we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to dwell on any of these in the interest of time because we did delay our start for a few minutes, but we wanted to just at least get you very briefly acquainted with the reserve if you aren't familiar. And I think we have some partners here from other reserves too. I know there's somebody here from the Wells Reserve, so she can tell you more about that reserve that's in Maine. So very quickly about the Bringing Wetlands to Market project, nitrogen and coastal blue carbon. This was a 4-year project that started out in 2011, it was funded by the National Estuarine Research Reserve System Science Collaborative. That's a whole kind of funding agency that's associated with the NERS to fund research that's applied in focus. And we also have all these partners that have been working on this project. NOAA, where is funding the effort through the Science Collaborative. We also have the Marine Biological Laboratory. We have Restore America's Estuaries. We have USGS, Florida International University, the University of Rhode Island. Those are kind of our core team members. Manomet Center for Conservation Sciences, and then our fiscal agent, the National Estuarine Research Reserve Association, NARA. So we have a lot of information that you'll be hearing about on the Bringing Wetlands to Market project, and we planned this conference as an outreach effort to basically share what we've been learning over the past 4 years with managers, scientists, people who are working at various levels related to wetlands management issues. And we saw this as an extension of that effort to kind of bring everything together and present that to you. And so yesterday we spent a lot of time kind of going through block by block some of the main components of the project, and we're going to continue that thread today. I just want to make sure I was finished with my slides. So we're going to continue that today, and that brings me to talk about what you can expect from the agenda. If you would open your packets, for those of you this is your first day, inside the packet you will have an agenda. There's also like a smaller pamphlet-style booklet where you will find bio sketches for all of the presenters, as well as their contact information. We went through the trouble of putting that there so you could have a reference for who these people are and where to find them if you have questions or would like them to give a talk on something. That's where you can find their information. We also have some project resources that are there, and they are in draft form. They're essentially like fact sheets of different components of the project that we've put together. We need to kind of just finalize the formatting of all of them, but the content that's in there is pretty much it's pretty much good for you to read and get a better understanding of what we're talking about today. There is one important typo in the model fact sheet. So that one you might just write a note on that, and we'll point that out later on, so that in case you're referring to that, want to make sure that does not cause any confusion for folks. So you have those project resources. And then we also have a list of posters, and the posters, we had a poster reception last night to end day one, and the posters are here. They'll be up all day. I want to thank all the poster presenters who took the time to put these different study posters together. If you would take an opportunity today to just look at them, I know that posters are a lot of work and sometimes they get glanced over. So just in the break time, in the time we have this afternoon, please check out the posters. I think there's a lot of great information over there as well. So thanks to all the poster presenters. So before we jump right into the presentations, a couple quick things to note. In your sheet, in your packet, there's also just a blue piece of paper, and that's our evaluation. Many times at the end of the conference, people just want to leave or have conversation, and if you don't, that's the last thing you want to fill out. But if you would take the time to fill that out, that would be great before you leave today. You can leave it anywhere on the tables. You can give it to one of us that you see roaming around at the registration table or right at the table where you're sitting, and we will pick them up. Yesterday we did some keypad polling, and we are missing a few of the keypads because they're very small, and they might just get, but if anybody sees one, we're missing about 5 of those little small white gadgets that we used to do the polling yesterday. That would be great. We'd love to get those back. I'm sure they're somewhere in the room. They're just easy to lose.